Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us have a look at today's enrichment. You are going to get a very useful quote, inspiring quote to begin with, and you are going to get phrasal verb of the day. After that, editorial vocabulary, important words made easy based on today's editorial. Then editorial analysis for contextual awareness, which is very important. Then you have test your comprehension skill, questions based on reading comprehension skill. Then test your English, practice questions based on exam topics, a word map, a recall effective vocabulary, assignment of the day for descriptive English. Let us start the session with a very useful quote. What is today's quote? Don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. Usually we try to limit our challenges, but it should be the other way. Don't limit your challenges, always challenge your limits. When you challenge your limits, you can go to a higher level and accomplish a lot. That is a quote for today and very useful while preparing for competitive exams. Coming to phrasal verb of the day, today's phrasal verb is break in. Break in meaning, it has got two or three meanings. One meaning, to interrupt when someone else is talking. Another, to enter by force. To enter by force, we have another phrasal verb, break into. Let us have a look at the examples. As she was talking, he suddenly broke in saying, "That's a lie." He suddenly broke in, he suddenly interrupted. Don't break in while I'm speaking. In conversation English, imagine you're busy talking. Someone tries to interrupt, then you say, "Don't break in while I'm speaking." Combinations are very important when it comes to English. English is known as a combinational language. Conversation, it goes with conversation, work, house, meeting, office, etc. Am I audible? Example, a burglar broke in. You can say, a burglar broke into my neighbor's house last night. I don't see any response. Am I audible? Let us go to editorial vocabulary, important words, effective words from today's editorial. The very first one, stipple, part of speech verb. It means, thank you. Fine, thank you. Part of speech verb, make someone unable to breathe properly or make someone get suffocated. For this, we have got another important word, though it goes with everyday English. What is that word? Strangulate. Death by strangulation, strangulate. We say death by strangulation, an important word, though it goes with everyday English. And stipple goes with effective English. Obviously, that is the reason why it has been used in today's editorial. Dissent, we have got many a time. It goes with polity. Today's editorial is all about Imran Khan's arrest, and it is a topic that goes with polity, international, and dissent, the holding or expression of opinions at variance with those commonly or officially held. Imagine there's a particular group. Within the group, some people oppose the ideas. Then we say there's a dissent in the group. Usually, it goes with a party. It goes with a particular ruling government. It goes with a particular group. Intent, you all know the word intention. Short form you can take intent or purpose. What is the intent behind that? What is the purpose behind that? Thought is an important word. When you read the newspapers, quite often you come across the word thwart, and it goes with police. The police thwarted means what? Prevent someone from accomplishing something, usually something bad. The terrorists wanted to do something, and the police thwarted their plan, means they prevented them from doing that. Conviction has got two different meanings. One meaning, in this context, a legal term. Imagine you have to know or recollect four words: innocent, guilty. They are legal terms. They also go with everyday English. As legal terms, innocent, a person who has not committed crime. Guilty, a person who has committed crime. When someone is found innocent, the person is acquitted. When someone is found guilty, the person is convicted. From that, we get convict verb, conviction noun. But the word conviction has another meaning. What is the other meaning? Sometimes I may say, I would like to say this with a lot of conviction, or I'm saying this with conviction, means a firm belief in something. As a legal term, a formal declaration by the verdict of a jury that someone is guilty of a criminal offense. But his conviction, my conviction, means my firm belief, a different meaning altogether. Misappropriation, an important word. Here you have to recollect words like swindle, embezzle, and there's one important idiomatic expression they have given many a time. What is that? Feather one's own nest. Feather one's own nest means a misappropriation of funds. And there are two important words. One is a swindle, swindle the funds. The other one, embezzle. This is also an important word. All the words you have to recollect. Dissolve, this goes with an assembly or official body. Close down or dismiss, part of speech verb. Interim, part of speech adjective. The intervening time, for the time being. Interim government means what? For the time being. Formidable, an important word, though we have got a few times. And it takes words like formidable opponent, formidable rival, formidable task, part of speech adjective. Inspiring fear or respect. It has both positive connotation, at the same time, a negative connotation, both positive and negative. Fear or respect through being impressively large, powerful, intense, or capable. Litany, an important word we have got for the first time. Do remember when I bring the editorial vocabulary, some words are familiar, some words are unfamiliar, and some words are completely strange we have come across for the first time. You have to spend some time on those words. Here, litany, a new word we have got for the first time. A series of petitions. Prosecute, you all know the noun form prosecution. And here you have to recollect another word, persecute. Persecution, prosecution, they come under confusing words. Persecute means to show prejudice or to show bias based on race or religion or creed. Persecution. But here, prosecute, conduct legal proceedings, part of speech verb. Sedition, nowadays this word is in the limelight. Incite means to provoke. Sedition means incitement of discontent or rebellion against a government. Someone says something to provoke the group of people or the general public to go against the government, then we use the word sedition, an important word. Right now it is in the limelight. Blasphemy, also it is in the limelight, an important word. The act of insulting or showing contempt or lack of reverence for God. There's one important word based on this. You all have to recollect the word iconoclast. Iconoclast means a person who attacks the religious institutes and goes against the established norms or traditions. Blasphemy, the act of insulting or showing contempt or lack of reverence, respect for God. Although we have got many a time an important word, to be a sign especially of good or bad things in the future. Augurs well means it's a good sign. These are the words from today's editorial, and have a look at the tone of the editorial, because nowadays they're asking questions, bank exams, the tone of the passage. The tone of the editorial is skeptical and apprehensive. Skeptical means doubtful. You doubt something, skeptic about something. But I have seen many students, they get confused between the word skeptic, which means to doubt someone or something, and the other one, cynical. Skeptic is a neutral word. You doubt someone or something. But cynical is a negative word. Someone has a negative attitude, always talks bad about someone or something. We say cynical attitude. For that, we also use, we say sick personality. One expression, I am sure you all know the word pessimist, always negative, pessimist. The tone of the editorial is skeptical and apprehensive. I use this word quite often, apprehensive. Don't entertain apprehensions before the exam. Apprehensive means a feeling of uneasiness or anxiety, a feeling that something bad is going to happen in future. Apprehensive. But here you have to recollect the word apprehend. Apprehend, related word. It has a different meaning altogether. Apprehensive, adjective. Apprehension, noun. Apprehend, verb. Apprehend, a different meaning, to arrest someone. When we say the minister or the politician has been apprehended, what does it mean? He has been arrested, a different meaning altogether. The author presents a critical perspective. Critical means criticizing, talking about the negative aspects of something. Perspective means your view on the actions taken by Pakistan's government and establishment. Establishment means an established institution or organization. Regarding Imran Khan's arrest, this editorial is all about Imran Khan's arrest. They express concerns about the excessive use of legal cases and charges against Khan and his party, about 100 cases, suggesting a deliberate, open, and intentional attempt to suppress dissent, opposition, and target opposition leaders. The author questions the legitimacy, to what extent it can be justified, of the legal proceedings, viewing them as orchestrated. Orchestrated means a planned efforts rather than genuine legal actions. This is the gist or the tone of the editorial. Now let us go to the editorial. Stifling dissent. Stifle means make someone unable to breathe properly or to make someone suffocate, get suffocated. On Imran Khan's arrest and Pakistan's democracy. In this context, it is like stifling Pakistan's democracy. And also it is about Imran Khan's arrest. And stifling dissent. Dissent means there is a group. In that group, a few proposals have been brought out, but some people may oppose. Then we say there is a dissent in the group. This goes with groups, political parties, government, a ruling party, all these. On Imran Khan's arrest and Pakistan's democracy. It has been written what is a stimulus based on Imran Khan's arrest. But what is the main idea of this editorial? Pakistan's establishment means the current regime and the military seems intent on using all means to thwart Imran Khan. Thwart usually goes with terrorists. It goes with a negative context. But in this context, thwart means what? Prevent someone from accomplishing something. Stopping Imran Khan, that's what it means. How can they stop him? By arresting, by filing a lot of cases. I think there are about 100 cases against him. How does it start? Any editorial is written based on a particular incident or an event, and that particular incident or event acts as a stimulus. For the second time in 3 months, for the second time, ordinal numbers, before ordinal numbers, we have to use a definite article the first, the second, the third. For the second time in 3 months, an important phrase, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been arrested. This time after a conviction in a case involving the misappropriation of official gifts meant for the Toshakana. Means, what do you mean by that? For the second time in 3 months, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been arrested. It is in present perfect passive voice. This time, what was the reason? After a conviction in a case involving the misappropriation. Misappropriation takes the word funds, misappropriation of funds. It takes a preposition of. I have already given the word swindle, embezzle, feather one's own nest. Of official gifts, not money here. Official gifts, that's a bit surprising. Meant for the Toshakana. He was last arrested. We use this pattern. Sometimes I say, when did I last take the editorial session? When did you last see a movie in a theater? So this pattern you have to remember. He was last arrested on May 9th in the Al-Qadir trust case charge sheet. What happened in the past? The sentence talks about that. The latest conviction. By all means, considering all the factors. By all means considering all the factors. By all means, it is not a good thing. Means looking at all the aspects, it's not a good thing. I hope you got the meaning, Anusha. The latest conviction. Now the editorial touches the latest conviction, which carries a sentence of 3 years. This also you have to remember. A sentence of 3 years means that, what does it mean, a sentence of 3 years? Means that he is now disqualified from parliament for the next 5 years and will not be able to stand for elections in polls due by November. There are two dimensions based on this particular expression or sentence of 3 years. One, he is now disqualified from parliament for the next 5 years. Second, will not be able to stand for election in polls due by November, means going to happen in the month of November. Two dimensions. Last week, Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif had announced, this is in past perfect, that he would dissolve. It goes with reported speech. Announced based on that, it should be not will, would. That he would dissolve means what? Cancel Parliament on August 9th, after which an interim government will step in. For the time being, interim will step in means will come into existence. It is significant, an important expression. It is important, we can also say. It is significant that Mr. Khan's arrest came days before the transition. His arrest came before the transition, days before the transition. What is the transition? They're going to dissolve the parliament on August 9th, and after which an interim government will step in. And just before that, the change, transition means change, his arrest came. The legal battle Mr. Khan faces now is formidable. Legal battle. There are cases, about 100 cases are there, and he has to fight the legal battle. This particular battle, the legal battle Mr. Khan faces now, present tense, is formidable, an important word. They have given many a time. Formidable means inspiring either fear or respect through being impressively large, powerful, intense, or capable. And the combination words formidable opponent, formidable rival, formidable task, formidable something. But he is by no means the first Pakistani Prime Minister to face jail time and disqualification. Here we have, by all means, Anusha wanted to know that. Here we have another phrase. What is it? By no means. By no means, without any exception. But he is by no means, without any exception, he is not the first Pakistani Prime Minister to face jail time and disqualification. It happened in the past. To substantiate that statement, during his tenure when he was in power, his government had pursued, past perfect tense, cases against former Prime Ministers Nawaz Sharif and Shahid Khan and other major opposition leaders, including former President Asif Ali Zardari. It talks about what happened in the past. Prime Minister Imran Khan is not the first Prime Minister to get the sentence. Others also got in the past. The common factor, but there's a common factor. What is a common factor? The common factor is that all these arrests appear orchestrated, means planned, not so much by political rivalry, not because of political rivalry. Rivalry means competition in a way. It goes with business. Business rivalry means what? Competition. Not by political rivalry, but due to problems with the powerful military. Not because of the political factors, a different factor, different reason. What is that? Due to problems with the powerful military. Again, to substantiate that, former, latter, you have to recollect. In Mr. Khan's case, he faced months of house arrest under former Pakistan President General Pervez Musharraf, but subsequently later came to good terms. This is also an important expression, come to good terms with the military. That means what? He had a good rapport with the military. There is one word. Here the letter T is silent, RT silent. Rapport, a very good understanding. He had a good rapport with the military, or he came to good terms with the military. His stunning electoral win in 2018 was believed to have been achieved. This is an important pattern, to have been achieved. It is a non finite verb and it is in passive voice. They seem to have achieved, that is active voice, to have been achieved with General Qamar Bajwa's blessings. It talks about the rapport he had with the general. However, after they developed differences, initially they had a good rapport, but later they got differences. Mr. Khan's political troubles began to mount. An important expression. Began to mount means what? Began to get accumulated, pile up, began to mount. Now, coming to the second part of the editorial, the government's actions are excessive, means beyond the limit, by any measure, by any means, by any measure. This is also an important phrase you have to remember. The reason why I tell you guys to remember the phrases, if you take bank exams and SSC also, there is one exam topic. What is it? Phrase replacement. And they take the standard phrases, there are thousands of phrases. How do they, what is the source? They take the phrases that are used in the newspapers regularly. That means you will definitely come across many of these phrases. Here itself, you learn that helps in the long run. The case Mr. Khan has been arrested, again, present perfect passive voice, for he is just one amidst. You can say amidst, you can also use the word amid. Both mean the same. Means what? Surrounded by, in the middle of, about 100 cases. He has been charged in ever since he was ousted from office in April 2022. He was ousted from office in April 2022. And if you look at the number of cases, has been charged how many cases? 100 about 100 cases. Here, about means approximately 100 cases. Apart from the litany of legal cases, this is an important word, a new word. Any new word, you have to spend some time, only then you can remember. Litany means what? A series of petitions in this context. Apart from the litany of legal cases against him and his family, there has been a systematic attempt to prosecute leaders of his party, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. So, against Imran Khan, against his party leaders. In addition, cases of terrorism, sedition, and blasphemy against Mr. Khan and his colleagues indicate there could be more serious sentences to follow. We can expect more. And there are two important words over here. One is sedition. Sedition means what? Incite someone to go against the government, provoke someone to go against the government. And blasphemy, talk something bad about the religion, go against, talk bad about religion or religious beliefs. At the same time, an important phrase, at the same time, his ouster from power and the cases haven't challenged present perfect, visibly adverb. His popularity in Pakistan, going by the by-election results last October and the anger after his arrest in May. So when he was arrested first time, and after that, subsequent to that, by-elections, he won, and there was anger after his arrest in May. In that sense, the fact that his conviction and arrest in the latest case, coming to the latest case, what was the public response? In that sense, the fact that his conviction and arrest in the latest case were not accompanied by similar protests. No one protested this time. It is not an achievement for Pakistan's government. It does not mean it is some sort of achievement for Pakistan's government, but contrasting information demonstrates the effectiveness of its establishment in silencing public expression. Perhaps they wanted to protest, but the establishment silenced public expression with great efficiency, effectiveness of its establishment in silencing public expression. None of this augurs well for Pakistan's democracy. Augurs well to be a sign of especially good or bad things in the future. And generally, we use in the negative pattern. It doesn't augur well. None of this augurs well for Pakistan's democracy. That's all about today's editorial. And now let us go to, based on this editorial, you have to treat this as a passage. That's the reason why I bring. And any passage you have questions, you have to answer. They give questions. Board well also, you have to recollect. Very good. Who is this? Shiv Kumar Paidi. Very good. It doesn't bode well. Another important expression. Yes, Gopal, you're right. And Siddharth Thapa also. These are lengthy questions. So you got to read very carefully and you got to write the answers in your own sentences. I would like to reiterate what is the reason. Simply looking at the questions, no use. You have listened to me. After the session, read the editorial once. Then you answer these questions. Indirectly, that will improve your reading comprehension skill, which is very important when it comes to competitive exams. Bank exams, so many questions, SSC also, based on one particular skill, which is rather difficult. What is that skill? A reading comprehension skill, passage, cloze test, jumble, scrambled sentences, paragraph related. All these depend on reading comprehension skill. Please go through all these questions and try to write the answers in your own sentences. That is very important. Only then you can develop that reading comprehension skill. Let us go to, you have been waiting eagerly, practice questions based on exam topics. The first 5 questions based on error location. Today, lack of time, I could not divide the sentence. Read the sentence and tell me where the error is. That's enough. Read the sentence very carefully and tell me where the error is. Indian chess crossed an inflection point with a young crop of players. For the time being, what I'm doing, yesterday's editorial, based on that, I'm bringing questions for 2 reasons. One reason, yesterday you listened to me, you must have read the editorial. Based on that, easy to answer or spot the error. That will give you immense confidence. And you get used to how to look at the errors. You will develop a particular skill. Where is it? No one has responded. That is a bit surprising. You can't afford to take so much time. Do you see the question? Indian chess crossed an inflection point with a young crop of players. There is an error. The sentence is wrong. I've been telling you guys, whenever you read a sentence, always look for the time phrase. If there is no time phrase, then you have to think of combination tenses like past continuous past tense, past perfect and past. And also the most important, you have to think of present perfect tense. In English, when you talk about a past action, you have a choice. What is the choice? You can use either past tense or present perfect tense. Listen very carefully. You can't afford to miss this. If you want to talk about a past action in English, there's a choice. What is the choice? You can use past tense or present perfect tense. Then comes the question, where to use past, where to use present perfect. Any past action, time is there, time is important, you have to use past tense. Any past action, time is not important, time is important here. Time is not important, action is important, and you don't see the time. Then you have to use present perfect. Based on that, here you cannot say Indian chess crossed, that is past. You have to say Indian chess has crossed an inflection point with a young crop of players. In many competitive exams, they've given questions based on present perfect tense, and you can't afford to miss something like this. Go to question number 2. A year after causing a major stir at the chess Olympiad, D. Gukesh is demanding attention still again. What is his done to? Is. Correct, sir. An inflection point, a young crop. Where is that? Which question are you talking about? Excuse me. A year after causing a major stir at the chess Olympiad, D. Gukesh is demanding attention still again. Very good. Anusha has got it right. Here we cannot use the word still. We have to use the word yet again. Yet again means one more time. What is the meaning of that expression? One more time. Looks like there's a power cut. Nothing to worry. There's an inverter. Go to question number 3. That has happened only once before and very fleeting during the last 37 years. There is an error. Every question there is an error. Please read the sentence meticulously, carefully, cautiously, and respect every word. Only then you'll be able to spot the error. That has happened only once before during the last 37 years. That is a clue. Present perfect. It is in present perfect. Nothing wrong. And very fleeting. Here, very good. Shivakumar has got it right. First one. It is not fleeting. Fleeting is an adjective. We have to use the adverbial form. Based on that, what is the right word? Fleetingly. Fleetingly. No, has is right. Once before, during the last 37 years. Because of this, you have to use present perfect. During the last 37 years means what? From the past to the present. This is a situation. Based on that, we have to use present perfect, nothing wrong. But here, fleeting is an adjective. We cannot use adjective form, we have to use the adverbial form. And this question is based on what I call word forms. Word form. Right word, wrong form. Quite often they give questions based on word forms. Question number 4. Anand never lost his India #1 rank in FIDE's rating list since July 1986, when he overtook Praveen Tipse. Fleeting visit means a short visit. Madhav, you're there. Please have a look at question number 4. I'm glad to see all the familiar names. We also say fleeting statement. Yes, of course, young crop of players. We got this in yesterday's editorial. Young crop of players means young group of players. Who is that? Dontu. Nothing wrong with that. I explained yesterday. In the context of the editorial, young crop means young group of chess players. Yes, here you have the clue. Since July 1986, whenever you come across two prepositions, since, for, you have to think of two tenses. One present perfect tense, the other present perfect continuous. Here we cannot use present perfect continuous, we have to use present perfect. Based on that, Anand has never lost since July 1986. Other words are not important. When you read a sentence, look at the time phrase, then you can decide, spot the error within no time. Question number 5. This is a bit challenging. Of all the 5 questions, I consider this challenging. India thus has 2 players in the world top 10. The only Indian to be ranked inside the top 10 has been Hari Krishna in 2016. India thus has 2 players in the world top 10. The only Indian to be ranked inside the top 10 has been Hari Krishna. No, in the world top 10, nothing wrong with that phrase. In the top 10, nothing wrong, Thapa. He is in the top 10, world top 10. Perfect. As I said, this is a bit challenging, not at all easy. No. Here, the only Indian, already the first sentence talks about 2 players in the world top 10. Then you cannot say the only Indian, it doesn't convey the correct meaning. You have to say the only other Indian, the only other Indian. Then it makes sense. If you say the only Indian, then it goes against the first sentence. Already 2 players are there in the world top 10. Based on that, you have to say the only other Indian to be ranked inside the top 10 has been Hari Krishna. Not an easy one. Now we have a para-jumble, an interesting, important para-jumble from the Economist magazine, latest issue, and it is about chip manufacturing. You may get something like this in the exam. They always take from the Economist magazine and other international magazines. We have 6 parts. Try to get the correct order. Contextual awareness is always a deciding factor, Anusha. I've been telling you guys, grammar rules, I have already done 200 rules, the videos are there. That is the first step, the beginning. But in the exam nowadays, many questions can be answered based on contextual awareness. Here, but cannot be the first one. Take elimination approach to get the first sentence. Their answer, demonstrative adjective cannot be the first one. To bring, no subject cannot be the first one. They, pronoun cannot be the first one. Given chip centrality to modern economies cannot be the first one. There is no subject as such. What is the first one? C is the first one. Many students have got it right. Very good. American chip makers account for a third of global semiconductor revenues. American chip makers account for a third of global semiconductor revenues. You should understand it is all about American chip makers. What is the next one? They design. They means American chip makers. Very good. CE. They design the world's most sophisticated microprocessors, which power most smartphones, data centers, and increasingly artificial intelligence AI models. CE perfect. Usually, writers, what they do, they try to present a particular statement and they try to present contrasting information. Keep that in mind, one of the models. D is not the third one. D is not the third one. No, no, no. Here, as I said, writers, they try to present a particular idea and immediately they try to present contrasting information. What is a contrasting word here? But neither the American firms nor the Asian contract manufacturers produce any such leading chips in America. Here they design contrasting information. They don't produce, neither the American firms nor the Asian contract manufacturers produce any such leading edge chips in America. So A is the third one. No, no, no one has got this order. CE, many students have got CEA. Now I see Tripura Sundari, CEA. What is the fourth one? This is a situation. What is a situation? Chip makers, they design but they don't produce. That is a cause to worry. Based on that, F is the fourth one. Very good. Who is this? Nagendrama, CEAF. Wonderful. Given chip centrality to modern economies and in the age of AI to war fighting, that worries policymakers in Washington. Because they don't produce, it worries the policymakers in Washington. Obviously, then what do they try to do? They come up with a new policy where they can have chip producers in the US itself. Based on that, their answer was the CHIPS Act, a 50 billion US dollar package of subsidies, tax credits, and other sweeteners. B, to bring advanced chip manufacturing back to America, which President Joe Biden signed into law on August 9, 2022. So, what is the correct order? CEAFBD. Who is this? I see Anusha, then Tripura Sundari, Ramesh. No, no, no. CEAFDBD. That is the correct order. Wonderful. Do remember an important para jumble. Anything related to AI, anything related to IT, definitely important because they have international ramifications or the consequences. Let us go to the next exercise, practice questions based on one word substitutions. An act of breaking or failing to observe a law, agreement, or code of conduct. What is the word? I will write the first letter. Then you try to guess. An act of breaking or failing to observe a law, agreement, or code of conduct. Very good. Who is this? Anusha. First one. Breach. Based on the editorial vocabulary. Then you can write the other words. Breach, violate, transgress, and not to comply. Very good. First you write the word from the editorial, then you can go to other words. A period of 2 weeks. What is the word? I'm sure you can answer. A period of 2 weeks. Fortnight. Wonderful. Maheshwari. First one to respond. Fortnightly. Fortnight. A period of 2 weeks. An activity that involves argument and discussion. An activity. This is a bit difficult. It begins with the letter A. An activity that involves argument and discussion. Arena, wonderful. Anusha. Arena. Arena means a field, sphere. And here you have to recollect the word realm. How do you pronounce this? A realm. An important word. The richest, most powerful, best educated, or best trained group in a society. What is the word? It begins with the letter E. Based on the editorial first, elite. But there's an important word you have to recollect from the exam point of view. What is that word? Gentry. Why is gentry important? Gentry also means upper class of a society or elite. Why is this word gentry important? Some nouns always have the singular form, but take a plural verb. And what are the examples? Cattle, poultry, gentry, vermin, clergy. So, in some exams they've given, the gentry has accepted our invitation. Wrong. The gentry have accepted our invitation. For a very short time, fleeting, wonderful. A time of sudden, noticeable, or important change in an industry, company, market. In the context of the editorial, sports, to be very specific, chess. So, what is the word? It starts with the letter I. And you have to use two words, not one word. It's a two word expression. The answer, inflection point. You have to say inflection point. What is inflection point? A time of sudden, noticeable, or important change in an industry, company, market, etc. In the context of the editorial, sports, especially chess. I have brought idioms based on yesterday's editorial and related idioms. Some are very important. One or two you can answer because you got yesterday. It is consolidation. But try to answer these two. Very important. And you did not get yesterday. You got top board yesterday. You got causes stir. And I also gave this time flies. Let us go to the first one. What is the meaning of top board? Top board means what? You got this yesterday. This goes with chess, very specific. A term that goes with chess. It means a player who has to face the strongest opponent. In the context of the editorial, Gukesh, the top board, and he had to face the strongest opponent. In the context of the editorial, Vishwanathan Anand. Top board goes with a person, a player in chess. The player who is going to face or who faces a formidable opponent or a strong opponent. No one has responded. I hope you guys go to the second one. Let us see. Above board, an important one they've given many a time, bank exams. These two. SSC also. Exactly, Shivkumar Paidi, one who plays against strongest opponent. Wonderful. Honest and transparent, Madhav, very good. Above board means honest and transparent. Wonderful. You have to think of honest, not honest, honest. It takes a preposition and the article and, not a. Cause a stir could be a positive thing, could be a negative thing. In the context of the editorial, positive. What does it mean? Negative connotation, to cause some sort of commotion, disturbance, or problem. But in the context of the editorial, something positive. Gukesh caused a stir in the field of chess. So, what does it mean? Cause a lot of excitement. Excitement, enthusiasm, cause a lot of excitement or interest. Interest, you can also say enthusiasm. Very good. Tripura Sundari, first one to answer. And Shiv Kumar, yes, excitement. Go to the fourth one. Time flies. If the session is very interesting, then you say time flies. So what does it mean? Eagerness also you can say. Enthusiastic, eager, interested, excited. All the words you have to recollect. No one has answered time flies. Time flies means time moves quickly. Imagine 3 hour session. After the session, you say, "Oh, already over. 3 hours." Time flies means what? Fascinating, interesting, engrossing? Not exactly. It goes with time. Time flies means time moves quickly, fast. It goes with time to happen quickly. Then you say time flies. In black and white, that is an important idiom. Try to answer the last one in black and white. Oh, thank you very much. Who is that? Tripura Sundari. No one has responded. The fifth one. How come this long? I want in black and white. Whatever you say, I want in black and white means in writing. And this goes with an agreement, contract, and usually a business contract or agreement. You want it in black and white, in writing, the terms and conditions. Combinations always important. Do remember the combinations. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. And do remember to subscribe and share. And I'll bring more exercises and also editorial vocabulary recall. Remember, in the past, I would bring 10 words, one column, meanings, another column. You have to match. I'll bring that and new exercises as well. Practice questions based on exam topics. That's all for today. Thank you for being with me till the fag end of this session.